The disgraced former President Donald Trump arrived at the Manhattan courthouse this morning. The hearing started at 10 a.m. Eastern, and he's testifying in a packed courtroom after journalists and court watchers lined up for hours before the court opened to try and secure a seat. Before heading to the court, Trump used Truth Social to attack the judge and the Attorney General in the case and claimed once again that the case was politically motivated. He posted, "Got a really biased, nasty, club-controlled but often overturned judge, a racist, evil and corrupt Attorney General, but a case that, according to almost all legal scholars, has zero merit," he wrote. "A dark day for our country." And then once again he wrote, "Witch hunt." Whilst Trump's testimony in court this morning is watershed in many ways, the disgraced ex-president is no stranger to taking the stand as a witness in trials. Since 1986, he's testified in at least 8 trials, and it's also reported that he's been questioned under oath in more than a dozen depositions and regulatory hearings. Well, just before 10 a.m., Trump walked into the courtroom at 60 Center Street to testify in New York State Attorney Letitia James's civil fraud case against him. And the atmosphere obviously was extremely tense. Kevin Wallace, who's questioning Trump for the New York Attorney General's office, started his examination with questions about the structure of the former president's financials. Specifically, Wallace was asking about Trump's revocable trust, which holds now his assets and names him as the sole beneficiary. Trump said that he moved assets into the trust primarily when I won the presidency. At the time, one of his sons, Donald Trump Jr., and then Trump Organization finance head Alan Weisselberg were named as trustees. He said he trusted Weisselberg and thought his son capable of helming it. Well, of course, Donald Trump Jr. and, of course, Eric Trump have previously taken the stand and denied really any knowledge of much of the financial work that went into running the organization. Well, Trump might have been prohibited from commenting on Judge Arthur Engoron's staff, but he freely rallied against the jurist. Less than 30 minutes into his testimony, the ex-president became a little skittish when asked about his financial documents from approximately 10 years ago. When Wallace asked about one document, he said, "It's so long ago, this is well beyond the statute of limitations." And then Trump insisted that others would be exempt from scrutiny for a document this old. And he then said, "I'm probably not exempt because I'm sure the judge will rule against me because he always rules against me." The judge then said, "Mr. Trump, please answer the question. You can attack me. You can do whatever you want, but answer the question." And as questioning progressed, Trump grew increasingly incensed by the questions about his real estate being overvalued. And if you think about why this is so important to Donald Trump, the whole facade of the Trump brand, Trump Organization, Trump as the mean boss is so much based in fantasy. And it's Donald Trump kind of growing his portfolio mainly through his state of mind, saying that it's bigger, saying his building is taller, saying that he has all this wealth when the reality is very different. And so this is why, to me, this case is so interesting, is because this is actually really hurting Trump, in a place that to him is so important, this pretense, this performative aspect of being the richest guy in America, which of course he certainly is not. And so this trial is a great opportunity to really stick the knife into Trump's ego and twist it. And, we'll see how things progress. Well, the judge finally lost his patience with Donald Trump, repeatedly failing to answer questions without rambling, once again urging his lawyer, Chris Kise, to control him and warning, "If you can't, I will. I will excuse him and draw every negative inference that I can." The digression that drew Engoron's ire stemmed from Wallace's question about the valuation of 40 Wall Street. Trump insisted the valuation was too low. He said the tower is a perfect measurement for turning that into condos. I have the right to do that, and at some point we or somebody will do that. That's the highest and best use, in which case 550 million is a very low number. All you have to do is look at a picture of the building. You say that's worth a whole lot more. And Judge Engoron goes, "Mr. Kise, that was a simple yes or no question." And obviously, this is why Trump, due to his ego, cannot keep things simple. He doesn't respect the judge, doesn't respect a court of law, and so he is very much of the opinion that whatever he says goes. And that's the problem with spending your whole life being surrounded by sycophants and employees and family members who are never going to question you, who are just going to be like, yep, whatever you say goes. But in the real world, the word no is very valuable. And this is what Trump is finally discovering. Whilst testifying in the civil fraud trial against him, he realizes that he does not have carte blanche to say whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And finally, the judge tells Trump this is not a political rally. And he tells the legal team to control him, or I will excuse him and draw every negative inference that I can, effectively threatening to throw the disgraced former president out of court for repeatedly exceeding the scope of questions. And this is something that I guess one could have expected, because Donald Trump was never going to behave himself. He was never going to respect the bench. He was only ever going to do Donald Trump. And so as the day plays out, we will see whether he ends up being thrown out on his ear or potentially put in a jail cell. Because, for somebody who's not a former president, who doesn't have as much clout and fame as Donald Trump, they certainly would have been incarcerated several weeks ago for contempt, for intimidating witnesses, and for being abusive towards the court staff. I'm Anthony Davis. You can hear me every day on the 5 Minute News podcast. Download it wherever you get yours and have me tell you what's happening around the world while you make your morning coffee. You can also catch my videos, my explainer videos, and my weekend show long-form interview program here on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, but also don't forget to join. And by clicking join, from just $2.99 a month, you can become part of the 5 Minute News community. Join me for live Q&As and communicate with me whenever you like as an exclusive member of 5 Minute News.